going on, everybody? It's Rick. Getting a chance to finally look in on the VermiHut. Had a little worm on the lid. I am really thinking that today we're going to be rotating these trays. Yep, definitely nothing in that feeding area. I'm making sure to incorporate everything really well for this, because this will then go to the middle level. With that last feeding, I really did bulk it up with the shredded cardboard. If you haven't had a VermiHut, the one issue is castings can stick to the bottom. So then when you go to move it, of course, nothing will fall right into your tray. Everything goes ahead and falls on your floor. So I would definitely suggest lifting it up, kind of turning it a little sideways, and then wiping off, the bottom. Like, that was all stuck to the bottom. So, just an idea. Now look at this. Oh, my bad. I've already done the tray rotation. That's why that top doesn't look... Okay, whew. Yeah, this is still going to be another few weeks down here, because I still have a couple bits in it. Okay, well, that makes my day just a little easier today. So now it's just a feeding up top. And that makes sense to why there's so much fresh bedding up there. Okay, that makes me happy. So, this has been down for 3 weeks. You can still see it has some bedding in there. Not too bad. Let's see. Oh my. I'm gonna go crazy. After I just got done telling you, don't do what I just did, I did it. And can you see how there's moist cardboard and then there's a whole big area that's dry? Well, that's where it's all stuck to the bottom of that other tray. So before I move it back, I'm gonna knock a bunch of that back into the tray, the feeding tray, so I don't have a whole bunch getting all swapped around. I'm seeing a bunch of worms down here, which is pretty cool. There hasn't been any food down this way. It's just been the moist feedings and the fluid dripping down. When I first put this tray together, I did water it a few times just to get the moisture in there. But after it's to this stage, I wouldn't add any more water down this way. Yeah, cool. And see, some of that was stuck to the bottom of the other tray. think we're going to diagonal feeding today. For the last couple weeks, we had some really nice temperatures, basically like the upper 60s to low 70s. With that, the heat in the air wasn't coming on. This week, we've had 3 days in the 90s. We have another day to go, and then we go back to the upper 60s. So with this now, as we get closer to summer, I think the moisture will start to kind of get drawn out of the bedding. I'm going to add a little bit of fresh bedding to this right now. And what I like to do when I'm adding that fresh bedding is help knock some of those castings off my glove, clean my glove up. Then it helps to kind of inoculate the bedding too. Okay, so with the fresh bedding, I'm going to add coffee grounds. This here's from my K-cups. I had an old cucumber, so I'll just rip into the skin a little bit. I have a few carrots. Then I have some berries for them. Blueberries and strawberries. And there we go. Plus a little bit of pulp. Use a little bit of more of the dry bedding to help clean those gloves up. Over top the feeding, I'm going to add some of my ground up eggshells. Old pickle jar. Good second use for that. For the most part, just about all my feedings, I always have it previously frozen. Then I bring it out. That helps with some of the pests. And another thing is if you can cover it, that tends to help with the flying insects. They don't just go right on top and kind of lay their eggs on the food because it's buried. And it gives a chance for the microbes to get to it a little faster, which in turn will get the worms to it a little faster. And then lastly, over top, I like to add a little bit of my ground up worm chow. This consisted of pulverized oats, flour, cornmeal, and some pulverized eggshell. So, tray's looking good. I think it has at least another cycle, maybe 2, so another 2 to 4 weeks of that pre-harvest tray on the middle. I don't need any castings right now, so I can afford to let this sit. If I did need some castings, that pretty much is ready to go right now. But I like it getting just a little bit more cycled, and then I add it to my storage tote for holding the castings. Thanks for coming along, checking out the video. If you guys have any questions, make sure you drop them down below. Everybody have a great day.